to our podcast, Micro Moment Podcast. You go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and sign up for our free cow report, and also see all the things we do and the emails we get, and all Randy's many services he performs. We have Deshaun with us today. Deshaun's brand new to our team, and he's doing the Trade the Moment sessions every day with Micah and Tim. Tim will not be here today. Micah will be. He's just late getting here. And, of course, Randy's here. And so we're going to have a good day today. The market is up a little bit, 54 on the Dow. The S&P's up 20.71, and the NASDAQ's up 161.39. We had a decent day today, return-wise, in our morning sessions. Deshaun and Micah and Tim have morning sessions, what we call the morning sessions, 8:30 a.m. Central, when the market opens, to 9:30 a.m. Central. And then sometimes they come back for a second session, which is usually between 12 noon and 3 o'clock when the market closes. And if you subscribe to their service, then you can attend those sessions. They're 5 days a week, every day the market's open, and do the trades, because they're doing those trades. Those are real trades. They're doing them in their accounts with real money. And the returns are just pretty astronomical. We're into our 63rd week as a subscription service, and we've been doing these micro moment trades for probably three and a half years. But we're in the 63rd week, and we've averaged 92.96% a week over those 63 weeks. Just tremendous stuff, and it's simple. Trades only last about 20, 30 seconds. You're out. You're done for the day. That's why they only do that 1 hour session, and maybe a few minutes in the afternoon sometimes. And so it's not something you sit there and do all day. I'm going to turn it over to let Deshaun introduce himself. And we've known Deshaun for a long time, and he has been doing this now, I guess, maybe a little over a year. He's extremely smart and extremely knows what he's doing. He's not had a loss since he joined the service last week. Now, we don't have many losses, and we make, we're up 75% for the week so far. And we've been averaging 92. So this is only Thursday. So we got the rest of today and tomorrow. We got some questions coming in. If you want to say anything, ask anything, or get us to respond to anything, just type it in, and it'll show just like you see with Joseph on the screen here. And Joe's saying, "Hello, everybody. It's great to see Deshaun on here." Yep, nobody's seen Deshaun. We renamed him. His name's not Deshaun anymore. We renamed him DS. It's easier to say than Deshaun. Certainly easier to spell. And there's Micah. Let me bring Micah in here. Hold on a second. There's Micah. Hey, Micah.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Everybody knows Micah. Yeah, I was getting ready to turn it over to Deshaun, kind of explain how he got involved with the technique and how well he's doing, and why we asked him to join. Deshaun, can you introduce yourself?
Well, hey, I'm Deshaun. Like Joe pretty much just mentioned it. I've been trading for a little over a year now. Mm-hmm. I think I officially did my first trade last June on using Robinhood. But other than that, I actually was introduced to micro moment trading via Joe. I used to bartend for Joe. So
there you go.
For him like 4 or 5 years ago. Took him like 2 to 3 years to trust me to tell me enough about the micro moment trading. So, and I think to it. And what's that?
Well, no, I was going to explain that when you start off using this technique, it is so profitable, and the percentages are just huge. And of course, he hadn't been around that long, but he's making incredible returns and without a loss yet. And a loss doesn't mean anything to us. We usually losses average around a penny to 2 or 3 cents. And the whole technique, not only learn how to interpret our advanced charting, proprietary advanced charting. When you go through these sessions with Mike, Deshaun, and Tim, they walk you out through these things, and you're sitting there looking live. These things are live, and you're looking. And when they enter, they say, "I'm getting ready to enter this. I'm getting ready to get out." Blah blah blah, and you see why they're doing it, and that's what you learn. You learn, and eventually you don't need to be there. But you can also start off doing virtual trading, which is virtually the same thing as real. It's not exactly real. That's what they call it virtual trading. And so you don't need to worry about losing money. It's when you get ready to, you feel confident, then you just switch over to the real thing. And the trades are extremely leveraged. They're not margined. We don't ever borrow money. And instead of paying 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks for a stock, we just trade the options. They're like maybe a buck 50, $2. An expensive one's $3. Instead of paying a lot of money for the stock. And I say we're not margin, so we're not borrowing money. We're just using the options. But I'll let these guys kind of explain that. Let's start off with Deshaun. Deshaun, he's already brought about much of he's talked about his background, but when he first got started, like most people that use this technique, they do really well because it's really simple. And then they become experts, and then they start changing the rules. When they start doing that, they start losing money. So Deshaun went through that. He was making incredible amounts of money. He was telling lots of people. And then he became smart. And then he started losing money. And he got so flustered, seriously, I was the most flustered person I've ever seen. So I kind of got him going again, kept talking to him, and he started again. And now he follows the rule. And I would say, and I think Randy hadn't heard the sessions that much, but I think that Michael would agree, he's the most disciplined. I mean, he will not go against the rule. He just doesn't do it, and that's why he hadn't had any losses. But Deshaun, say hello, and then why don't you cut it over to Micah and let him kind of bring folks up what the day went and how things been going for him, because he's been in it a long time now. I've known Micah since he was 16. He's 22 now, and we actually met on a CSE cruise in the Caribbean. So go ahead, Deshaun.
Actually, I'm not exactly sure what you want me to.
Okay. I won't embarrass you then. Let me do this. Let me switch around to the other guys and take it, because then you kind of get an idea what they talk about, and then that's what you can talk about. So we'll start off here with Randy, our old school person. He's been with us, gosh, how many years, Randy? 15, 16, 17 years. And Randy specializes in, originally covered calls. Now he's kind of morphed a lot of these covered calls into a combination micro moment. In other words, they're a lot quicker, but he still does traditional covered calls and makes extreme amounts of money percentage-wise. And I'll let him tell you about that. Go ahead, Randy. Oh, and
okay.
Randy's in Atlanta, I think.
Yeah, in north of Atlanta, but in the Atlanta area, where it's supposed to be like 90 degrees for the next 3 or 4 days. People around here think that's hot. They've never lived in Arizona, where it's 115.
We were in Montana for like a week and a half, and it was like upper 80s, and I was dying.
Temperature is all relative.
Yeah, well,
but anyway,
like 80% humidity to 20, so that wasn't great either.
Yeah, that makes a big impact on what you feel like when you're out there. But anyway, as Joe said, I actually conduct multiple services here. One of them is a slower version of micro moment trading. So what Micah and Deshaun do is in and out of positions in like a minute or less. We also have a slower chart that they use, the intraday streaming chart, which is updated multiple times in a minute. So you're just watching the movement of the tick, the stock chart just going up and down really quickly. We also have a version that's a daily version called advanced charting, and we use that for momentum trading, which is identifying using the chart, which actually has 21 technical indicators all rolled into one chart. And we teach you an easy way to learn how to read and interpret that chart. And we're looking for the beginning of a rising cycle. And when we see the rising cycle on the individual equity or an ETF, or it could even be the index. But when we see the beginning of that rising cycle, that's the start of the momentum, then we buy a call. And then we sell that usually in a day or two. It usually takes 1 or 2 days, maybe 3, for that cycle to continue, and then exit that position for all the cash return. In addition to that, and I teach that in a webinar every Monday morning. That's live in the market. So we go through about 35 different charts, looking for what we call that sweet spot, the beginning of that rising cycle. And the reason why we're using a rising cycle is because overall the market is rising. We have up days and down days, but from year to year to year, the market continues to rise. So that's why we stay in the rising cycle right now. In addition to that,
let me say something. You don't have any losing days. That's the key. When you're doing the traditional covered calls, you can control it, and it has so many avenues where if when a stock, you get into a stock and goes down, that's okay, because you're gonna make a return. You're going to, let's say, 5% a week. You're going to make that return whether the stock goes up or down. It makes no difference which it goes because of the techniques you have to use. You don't have that opportunity over in micro moment. You got to get in and get out in seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so what Joe's talking about is the covered calls, and I teach that in a service on Wednesdays. Wednesday morning live in the market is a coaching webinar, and those webinars are then recorded while being done live, and you can watch those later on and go through them over and over again. Or if you're not available while the market is open, then you can take advantage of that coaching later on by watching the recording. And so what Joe mentioned was what we call management. So when I find a position that I'm going to enter for a new covered call, I send out an alert, an email that says, this is what I'm looking at, and this is what I'm planning on doing. And once that email goes out, then I put that order in my own broker account and enter that position. And then I send out another email that says, here's exactly how it filled. So you get to see real time exactly what is the market doing, where is it, what does the chart look like. It's not like here's what you could have done 3 months ago, or look at this great position, this is what we're looking for back in July of last year. It's real time, so you're basically looking over my shoulder and watching step by step by step and learning how to do those processes. And of course the intention of the coaching is that you start off with your virtual trading platform so you can follow along without risking any money. So you're practicing before you go out to the big show. And so last week the entries, I have to turn my desk light off so that you can actually see. But so last week the entries, CVS was 11.1% return in just one day. I entered that on Thursday and closed it on Friday. Moderna, it's in the news all the time. That was a 8.3% return. And that one was actually in management. So Joe talked about that if it doesn't go up, if it goes down, we don't sell for a loss. We continue to manage that for weekly income while it's cycling up and down. So Moderna went up because they had great news about their results, but they didn't publish anything. And then the market says, wait a minute, you didn't really tell us anything. And so it went down and down and down. And now it's way back up again because now they publish the results. So that's what stocks do. They go up and down. We have no control over that. But with the covered call techniques, the management process, we can still continue to manage that position as it goes up and down until it comes back up enough. And it doesn't have to come back up as far as where it started. So that's one of the really great things about the management technique. So Moderna was actually 24 days it took to get back all of the invested capital and 8.3% return. That one closed out on Friday. TLT, which is the ETF for the Treasury bonds, 12.3% in 1 week. IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000, that was 9.8% for 4 days. Amazon last week was 12.3% for 4 days. And RTX, which is Raytheon, that was 11.1% for 4 days. And so far for the positions that were entered this week, I already closed out GILD. So I entered GILD on Monday and closed it yesterday. Got all my invested capital back plus a 9% return in just 3 days in that position. And so all the other ones are looking good for this week, which will close tomorrow. Amazon, I entered a new position on Amazon, and it's already dropped $400 since I entered it. But I have a positive called return position right down at this level And so if Amazon just hangs around here tomorrow, then I'll be closed out with all my invested capital back and a return. And so that's how management works, is we continue to manage that position, enter and exit, and change things to get back to even and with a profit, even as the stock declines.
Okay, let me say this too about that. We have a toolbox. We have a toolbox that helps you do all this stuff to manage these positions. And I don't know if that rent for, but it doesn't rent for much. And and they also gives you all the selections. There's thousands of stocks out there where they're great combinations of buying the stock and selling the call, or buying the leap and selling the call against it. And it pops all of them out on a regular basis. The only thing we're concerned about when we about go into a stock is we just want to stay in business. We know it's going to go up and down. That's what they do. We just don't want to go out of business. If we go out of business and we've been in less than 2 years, then we're going to lose some money. If we've been in more than 2 years, we've already gotten all our money back, so it doesn't make any difference. But that toolbox pops those things out. It may pop out 100 a day. It may pop out 10 a day. But they all meet our criteria, which company has to be profitable, has to have projected higher earnings for next year than this year, various things like that. And then we just hope it stays in business, which normally we only had one go out of business over 25 years. We've been doing this about 25 years and offering this service. Not the micro moment. That's only been around for 63 weeks or something like that. As a service, as a rental service, as a subscription service. But the other thing, when you're doing his trades, he's really kind of morphs some micro moment trades in there. Now they don't last like 25 or 30 seconds, but they may be out in a minute. They may be out in 5 minutes. They may be out in 2 or 3 days. But they're always out, and they're always fantastic returns. So, and when he does leaps, he's using leaps as an option, stands in place. It's a long-term option. It stands in place of the stock. So you can buy it and then you can rent it, just like you do stocks. We rent stocks. That's what we do. We buy stock and we rent it. And if you don't do that, it'd be like owning apartments and not renting them. Who wants to own apartments or houses or office space and not rent it? So we buy the real estate and we rent it. And that's what we do. The website is www.micromomenttrading.com. www.micromomenttrading.com, and you can sign up for our free Cal report, which you get each Friday. And you can check all the letters and emails we get from all our clients and how they're doing and what kind of services we provide. I'm about to lose my voice here. Let's turn it over to Micah, and now let him bring you up to date about how we do the leaps and his services, and go from there. We have some people signed in with questions over here. We'll get them here in a few minutes. Go ahead, Micah.
Yeah, Marcus, if you could actually bring up David L's comment.
Micah.
Can you hear me?
David L. Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, perfect.
David says, "Hi guys, I'm still on the charts, still trading and checking in. Nice to see Deshaun on your team." Okay, thanks, David. I'm sure Deshaun appreciates that too. So
perfect timing. David is actually a micro moment trading graduate. So basically, he just got good enough at it over the months he was learning. He came to the live seminar as well, and he's been gone. What has it been, David? Like 3 months now. You've been solo, still trading micro moment. So it's cool to see him on here. I tell everyone to check in when people graduate. They're oftentimes just off to the races and they kind of forget about us. We like to say hi. We have this question box that we get to interact with all of them. So we talked to David for 5 months straight, single morning, and then they go off. So it's always nice to hear them back and know that they're still doing good. So awesome to hear from you, David, and thanks for stopping in on Facebook.
Mike, let me say one thing. On not Facebook, but on YouTube, you can actually go put in micro moment trading YouTube, and you'll go to the live sessions that they do, and it's just like sitting there at a live session. Of course, it's outdated, so it's not going to get to trade on it. But you can see exactly how they conduct those sessions, and those things last an hour. If you want to sit around there an hour and see how they do it, then you can do it. So
Yeah, we do have recordings of full sessions. I think 7 or 8 on there too. So there's a lot of content on YouTube, and then Facebook has about 20 what we call snapshots, which are excerpts from webinars. So we pull out very meaningful lessons, very easily demonstratable trades, things like that, and then we show them to you on there. So lots of free continued education. But yeah. So getting back to it, I mean, Micromoment's been great this week. There's been some challenges with some weird volatility going on and things that we've had to be really patient through. I only made one trade today, and I missed 3 fills. And Deshaun missed, 7, I think.
Every fill, yeah.
Every fill. Tim missed probably 4 to 5. When we talk about missed fills, it's when we enter the price where it should be, yet we see a switch on how the options move. So there's a lot of factors that we can teach you on the webinar about maybe why you're not getting filled into these option trades. Some of the underlying things that are happening in the market right now, given all of the new accounts on Robinhood, all of these fresh traders coming in with their money, is kind of changing the immediate option structure. Micromoment is the most granular you can possibly get. So we need to know those influences and how they work out in real time. And that's what we talk about every day. But we've really had to talk a lot about that today. David, I'm sure you've noticed some weird stuff going on this last couple of weeks. And that's why we want to always keep up on the market. Coda, stop. My cat again. Up on the market and make sure we're constantly adjusting for those variables that happen, because there are a lot of things, that happen every day, especially in a market like this. I mean, every day is news and craziness, and Tesla's up $400 for some reason, and there's always something. So we've just stayed patient and protected ourselves, and it's been going really well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, again, let me emphasize, when Deshaun and you and Tim are doing those trades, these are live, and you're sitting there looking on your screen, and they're sitting there explaining exactly every move they make. So pretty soon, it just becomes natural to you. And just like David, was extremely successful, and he no longer comes to session. He's no longer paying that monthly fee for the session, but he's extremely successful because he can say anything. If he could just start here and say anything in the world if he wanted to, and of course we'd kill him. But other than that, it'd work out okay. But anyhow, go ahead.
Just a quick comment about that. It's all made possible because of the proprietary intraday streaming charts from Micromoment Trading. If David didn't have those charts, he would not be able to do what he's doing. So you come to the training sessions, you'll learn how to read those charts. You watch and see how the successful instructors, Micah and Deshaun and Tim, are doing it, and you practice, move right along with them. And then once you feel like you've got it, you still need the intraday streaming charts. That is the secret sauce. This is just not speculation. They're just not saying, hey, I think I'm getting in here. You have to have that intraday streaming chart. That's what's important.
Yeah, Micah, show them that charts again. Micah kind of turned the camera around at one point there while Randy was talking. That's what the chart looks like. And again, that thing costs us a few $1,000,000, and it just takes all the data out there in the marketplace and charts, and you know exactly when and why you're getting in positions and what to avoid. But so anyhow, and we have Larry, where all those momentum trades Randy was talking about. The trades Randy was talking about, there may have been some momentum trades in there, but I think the bulk of them were covered call trades, right, Randy?
Yeah, those are the covered calls, which is a synthetic covered call. It's a special technique that we've developed, but it's a covered call. And with the covered calls, they're in the money. When we enter them, they're in the money. So we have a long position and a short position, both in the money, and the goal is to be called out. Now that's different than like you're going to hear on the street. Most of the big traders, they kind of spit out the word covered call. They don't like it. But these are designed to generate income, weekly income, and get all your capital back at the end of the week at the same time. So, but that's what those are. Yep.
Okay. And Logan says, Randy, you seem, these things are so small, I hardly read. Randy, you seem to be very consistent, 6 to 10 platinum trades per week. Is that right, Randy?
Yeah, that's about what it is. What it's been lately. There have been times when it was up to about 15 trades a week, but right now I'm in the 6 to 10 or so.
It's a two-part comment. He accidentally stopped typing. It says, "Does the screener not produce results some weeks?"
Oh,
yeah. Now
okay.
The screener is a separate process to help select a new covered call position, and it does have results. We just have to tweak some of the indices on there, and you see that on Thursday night I do a small group covered call coaching session, and I go through the screener and the selection process and the charts and the buy and low rule and all the things that Joe's going to be teaching this weekend on the 2-day covered call seminar. And so I show you what to be doing and how to use that screener.
Yeah, the screener has you can set the criteria. We have a base criteria that we use, which is extremely conservative. Like the company's got to be so profitable, it's got to have certain broker rates, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes it's more stringent than what's out there, so it just doesn't show anything. But when things come in line, it shows them. And you can physically change that criteria on the screener if you want to. I would not suggest it, but we think it's pretty conservative. That's what helps him make profits all the time on this stuff. So Logan, let's see who read that one. About the deal. Sean, why don't you take that one to Deshaun there?
Okay, Deshaun, not sure you recall, but we sat next to each other at the Dallas at lunch following the seminar. I believe so. David, I believe you have a couple of restaurants, I think we talked about. Curious to hear your story, how you got off discipline, and more importantly, how to get where you are, how you got where you are now, highly disciplined. Okay, yeah, so I guess the point, I think Joe briefly touched on it, where when I first started trading, I was pretty amazing. Like the first two weeks to a month, I was like dominating and doing everything perfectly. And then I noticed after that point, I started trying to see new patterns and different patterns. I had like 4 or 5 different charts up, trying to like find the perfect moment to get in trades and like better the technique and everything. And that's when everything went awry. I started taking some big losses. And so I took some time off, took a week off, came back with fresh eyes, got back to everything being simple, did good again. Then the same pattern came again. I was like, okay, there's more patterns in here. There's reversal patterns I should be catching. I should be getting every trade. I shouldn't be watching trades go by me and things like that. And so I started bringing up more charts again, and then I got crazy again. So I quit again. I took a month off this time. And so when I came back, I started following just to keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So I basically refused to take any more losses, because losses was what debilitated me. And so I gave myself a set of rules to become more disciplined. And I think one of the most important things I did was I gave myself a 3 trade maximum for the day. And so that made me become extremely more conservative on which trades I did take. And so for me, I need the perfect chart setups. Well, you'll know what E1 is. So if E1 is like too high in the case, I'm like, okay, let me wait for a reset. Even if like big moves, so I watch a lot of moves go by now, but I know that if I just wait for the perfect setup, I like have a very high probability chance that I'm going to have a positive trade. So, I mean, so I have I think that's what really had me the most discipline, is that I set a trade limit cap on myself, which is 3 trades. So,
yep. David just said, yep, that's me also. So, yeah, we're really proud of Sean. He's just doing gangbusters and fits in real good. Micah and Tim and Deshaun have subtle difference in the precise way they trade the macro moment, but they follow the rules. And certain indicators are more important. Like I think the Bollinger Bands are probably more important to Deshaun than other aspects of it. Then not that particularly important to Micah. And so it just works. There's something there for everybody. I want to remind everybody, I hadn't even mentioned it yet, so it's not really a reminder. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we have a 2-day seminar on traditional covered calls and leaps, which we've been teaching for years and years and years. And I do that seminar, but it's been enhanced. Last time we did it, a couple of months ago, I added the microphones onto the platform, so now you can talk. And then for the very first time, we had Randy and we had Micah, and we'll hopefully have Deshaun if he wants to, and Tim. And they came in and gave contributions all weekend, and it really, really was an incredible seminar. Everybody had a good time. They really learned a whole lot. A lot of people signed up immediately after that seminar, kept their micro moment, signed up for Randy's covered call stuff. And so it really, really went well. And that's this weekend from about 9 in the morning a.m. Central Time to around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. So there's a link in the Micro Moment website, www.micromomenttrading.com. There's a link where you can sign up for that seminar. So, okay, let's look at some more questions here. Just comments. Frank says hi to Sean, and we probably read that earlier. And Gary said terrific. That was something somebody said. Marion Evans been with us forever. Fantastic person, and she says welcome to the gang, Deshaun.
Hello, Marion.
Yeah, I think Marion's from Chicago. That's why she welcomes you to the gang. Joseph, hello. Everything is
Marion's,
great to see.
Marion's from everywhere. She's all over the place.
That's right. Yes, that's right. She has a real heritage. She moves her tail for you. That was the heritage of Southwest Airlines. They used to have that on the tail. I don't know. You guys are all too young to remember that. That's when they were a good airline.
Yeah, that was their early slogan.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And then Frank, I don't know why you said this, Joe. You've been upgraded. You've upgraded your microphone. You sound much better. I'm just improving with age. Same microphone. Sean has the same microphone. I think I'm not sure what mic is using there. And so anyhow, Larry. He's already with all those trades, momentum trades. He addressed that to Randy already. David, it's been a few months since he's been out, meaning he's no longer attends the seminars, but he still does the trades on a daily basis. David said, like you, I think it was either Randy or Deshaun or somebody says, like you, I missed a few trades today. I spot them, but they were quick, so I missed them. And again, you're never in one of those momentum trades for more than 15, 20. A long time is a minute and a half. Long time. Abe, something error 404, the requested resource is not found. I don't know what that is. What you're talking about, Abe. So
it's just a glitch. The comment never came through. Yeah, Abe, we never got your comment. It didn't put through.
And David again says, interesting to hear Deshaun. I went through a similar path, and like you, had some expensive lessons along the way. Big shift for me is getting more skilled at getting out fast, and that's the whole key. The one thing, like some people say, well, do you have a book you read on this microphone? No, there is not, because there's only one thing to do. When you enter that trade and you see that something turn red, get out of it, close it right then. Now these guys have gotten so good they can get out for a penny loss, a 2 penny loss, a 3 penny loss, which is nothing. Because they're right back into. Sometimes they're back into that thing before the dust settles, and get a profit out of it. So we just don't tolerate. We're not going to sit there and have it turn red and say, well, we're going to wait. We're not day traders. We don't care if stocks are going to go up for the day or down for the day. We give nothing about that. We trade volume, and there's volume every day, and we don't care which way the volume's going. We like it to be lots of volume. That means there's more trades, but sometimes there's not lots of volume. There's just regular volume or slow volume, but we still get things done. So. And Larry, Micah started trading in high school, age 16. I don't know. You have to ask Michael. Mike, what about that?
Yeah, so the first time I ever saw a option chain was I was 15 actually. My brother was a student of Trade the Moment back in the day, and so I learned Trade the Moment with him on paper, obviously because it's illegal to trade under 18. So
that was our program. That was our program, by the way, the Trade the Moment, just clear.
Yeah, that was a CSC program. Yeah,
one of the techniques. Yeah.
It was kind of the birthplace of Micro Moment and what we adapted it from. But yeah, and I started trading. I mean, paper. I think it's maybe late 15, early 16. I moved out at 16, so that put me on hold for about 6 months. And there were a couple things, just growing up when you're in high school, there's some things that stop you from trading every morning. So I'm not going to say it was, perfectly consistent that whole time. There was 6 month gaps for sure. But yeah, I always kept my ear to the ground, learned all the different, strategies and even, more about the market, just general market research. I was always really interested in it. And then I started live trading right when I was 18. I opened an account it was $800. That was like half of my net worth at that time. And I lost it all in a month and a half. And that was my start of live trading. So yeah, since I was 18, 4 years now live trading, probably a cumulative 7 or 8 months throughout that time that I wasn't trading for various reasons. And then I started with Joe about 63 weeks ago, I guess.
Yep. And let me say one other thing too about power of compounding, and this applies to if you have people like Micah's age, and they're getting ready to go to college or something. Don't waste your time. Wait, give them a couple $1,000, open an account, have them virtual trade until they become proficient with this technique. If they get 6% a week on average over 24 months, they will grow that 2,000. Just keep reinvest. Put it in an IRA account. Just keep reinvesting. Don't ever put any more money in. Just keep reinvesting the profits you make. It'll grow to around $600,000 in 24 months. Now at 6%, that's what 36,000, 40,000 a month. At that point, tell them they can take 1 week of earnings a month and leave the other 300 to keep compounding. They'll have millions and millions of dollars, and then they can go pay for their own college. Otherwise, they're going to be in no job land and in debt. And if they can't risk $2,000, then you shouldn't even be here. So, not for that kind of opportunity. So, and then Micah showed up. We had a cruise down the Caribbean. We back in the day when we could get people together, we had a lot of cruises, Hawaii and in Europe, and over in this case was the Caribbean. And Randy showed up on a cruise with his brother. He wasn't old enough to come by himself.
Yep. I wasn't supposed to be there. Funny enough, Joe.
Your brother was going to be there, right?
My brother was going to bring his friend. It's actually crazy how it happened looking back on it. But my brother was going to bring a friend, and he got so sick he was in the hospital that whole week we were in Puerto Rico. Doing that.
Yeah. That's where it left from, yeah. Oh. Micah kind of froze up. Everybody else is moving. Micah, Micah, move. Yeah, you're moving now. You're okay.
I'm back? Okay. Yeah, but the guy that was supposed to be in my place was really sick at the time, but they didn't want to waste, he was still all cognitive, and he's like, yeah, don't waste the money you already spent. Like, just Micah, you go instead. And so I did.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Anyhow, we're proud of him also. And we were able to get in one live Trade the Moment seminar before the virus hit. And so I don't know when we'll be doing others. We'll be doing them online. We've done online seminars for years and years and years, but we've not done one yet. And we'll get organized to do that for too long, Trade the Moment seminar. But it was a 2-day seminar. People come in. We brought them drinks, brought them dinner and everything, and had a lot of fun. We've been doing that for years and years. Randy started in Atlanta. He went to a seminar we did in Atlanta. He was we discovered that the mythical health healing benefits of doing covered calls. He was blind when he first came in, and now he's no longer blind. So it works. Yeah. Somebody popped up a question and disappeared before I had a chance to read it. David.
Yeah, I wasn't really blind. I had just had LASIK eye surgery, so I had to wear really, really dark sunglasses, wraparound sunglasses the whole time to make sure that you didn't scratch your eyes. And so I was in the seminar room, which was dark because of the projection of the slides up on the screen. And so Joe said I had a cane and was blind, but
Well, you did.
but I
You
wasn't.
did. You were blind equivalent. You were blind equivalent because you had a cane, okay, and then you went to lunch and you got lost in the damn elevator and couldn't get out of the elevator. Now if that's not blind, I don't know what the hell it is.
We did get stuck in the elevator for an hour and a half. You're right.
That's
Okay.
The elevator stopped in between floors and we couldn't get out. So
That's one of my worst fears. I'm terrified of that ever happening. Oh,
well, it happened to us. It wasn't just me. There was another couple in there, and the girl was starting to really freak out. She was calling 911 on her cell phone and all kinds of stuff. And finally, actually, the fire department came and they were they had their axes up ready to break the door down, and they finally got it open. So we got out.
And Randy showed you the power of this technique. Randy was with one company. I'm not going to name the company, but his entire career, and I think they were in Atlanta. They were in Atlanta, right, or Georgia somewhere.
It ended up in Atlanta, right?
And so it's a big, huge company. So they decided to offer a buyout to a lot of their senior people, and the company pulled in all these financial people from around to interview these potential people they were going to buy out to see if they would be able to make it on their own if they were bought out. And Randy was one of the few. He'd already been using the technique probably 6 months to a year, I think, and was one of the few people that got an offer from them to buy him out because he could more than he could take the stock that he had in the company and just trade it in his covered call away just by renting the stock. And because of that, he was able to retire and with that company. So that's pretty impressive stuff. He had the stock. Remember the stock. If you own stock and you're not renting it, or you're not selling calls on it, it's like owning real estate and not renting it. So,
yeah, and we teach that process as well, Joe. Of if you have what we call the legacy stock, you have stock that you just don't want to sell, but you can still generate income on a weekly basis on it, and we teach you how to do that without having to sell that stock. You still get to keep that stock, so you earn your dividends on it, but you can generate weekly income on something that you just had sitting there for the whole life. So it's a great technique.
Yeah, a lot of people have stock they inherited from their grandmother, and it's really valuable, but they'll never get rid of it. And they're trying to live off the dividends, and maybe the dividends, are not fantastic. But you can. And Randy has a technique that you cannot lose your stock, and we call it our dividend technique. That may not be the exact name, but each month you sell an out of the money call and create additional income, just like a dividend, except you're getting it monthly. So whatever dividends you're getting, which are usually not too great, 3-4% maybe a year, you're doubling and tripling, quadrupling that on a monthly basis, and you can never lose your stock. So it's impossible. Anyhow, okay. So do you have any questions there we haven't picked up? David, Micah, go ahead and read that one, Micah.
Missed our morning sessions together. Curious to know how you've managed to navigate these past few months. It's been, like I said, we've just tried to protect ourselves as the number one priority. We've kept in the forefront of our mind that capital preservation is the number one thing, because there are a lot of people in this losing their accounts, blowing up in a day. Especially back.
Not in our technique. Not in this. But you got to be careful how you say that. They're in this. Okay.
Yeah. No, a lot of people in the market right now are really having a tough time. I mean, mutual funds are getting praised for only losing a small amount, right? Now, obviously, we've climbed back to all-time highs, so that's no longer an issue in the same way. But like a couple months ago, everyone was in really deep water. Right. But when the market opened and we were gapping down 1,000, 2,000 points, we didn't care. We're in cash every night. It doesn't, for micro moment. And then on the converse side, the covered calls, right, we can just manage. There's literally sets of rules for everything. There's no sort of imagine a trading lifestyle where you don't care what the market does. And you're not ever worried about the news that's going to come out. There's no stress like that. It just is really nice. It just gave us more volatility. honestly too much volatility. We weren't even able to play it because the spreads were too big. We couldn't get filled on anything, right? For those 2000, that run of 2,000 point days on that week that we all remember so clearly. And so we've just kept that mentality. We're preserving capital. We're staying safe. We're grabbing the obvious trades. If there's a loss, it turns around on us. We hop right out. And I mean, yeah, it's been a lot of learning though that we've had in these past few months. Even as teachers, we're learning more about the market because this is unprecedented stuff. We've never seen market effects like this. Never seen
these guys. Yeah, these guys only trade certain stocks like Deshaun trades SPY. And Micah trades principally SPY, although he'll throw in an Apple or Microsoft every now and then. Randy trades all kinds of stuff because it's a different technique. Tim does QQQ, which is a big index.
Oh,
and so they're not there looking for things. They're just sitting there, during that session, looking for a trade and making sure everything's right to do a trade. And if it is, they do it. Yep. In and out. So, any other questions there anymore?
Joe, after this, do you have like 5 minutes for me to install that PowerPoint on your desktop?
Let me do this. Can I run to lunch and come back and do it?
Yeah, we could. Suzanne's setting up a webinar for us right after this.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. We'll just sit here. Yeah. No time problem at all. Cool. No time problem at all. I was have to pick up my wife at the airport, but she didn't get back. She didn't get until about 7-11 tonight. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll make it as fast as possible. I'll do most of it for you. So just
okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just remind everyone again, Joe, about the 2-day cover call seminar coming up this weekend.
It's this weekend, Saturday from 9 to 3 or 4 in the afternoon Central Time, and same thing on Sunday. And these gentlemen will hopefully be on there. We're not requiring them to be on there, but they just show up and they have a good time and really increases their business. But so it's great. And
I'll be there. I'll be there all day Saturday, I think, Joe. But Sunday,
there you go.
I can only be on a short time because I got my baseball game in the afternoon. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, our professional baseball player is Randy. Now he's big. He's big league. What league is that? What do you call that? Old men's league? What is that?
No, it's called men's senior baseball league. It's not
men's senior.
Although we are kind of old, but we still have a great time out there.
He plays all over the country, and occasionally, I think he's played in Puerto Rico. They were really big down there.
Puerto Rico,
yeah. But he's popular, and Deshaun and Mike are actually singers. Yeah, and I think Deshaun dances a little bit too. Maybe Mike does. Yeah,
background dance. Yeah.
In fact, Mike won the singing contest on the ship we were on. I came in second place on that ship.
Yeah.
And when we had, I understand, I wasn't there personally to vouch for this, but when we had our live seminar here for micro-moment trading, and we had it here in Fort Worth, after the dinner, they went out and sang at places. So, y'all yodel. Is it yodel? It's yodel. In Fort Worth.
The question from Abe finally came up. He says, Randy, or if you want to put that up, Marcus, compound stock earnings is officially completely shut down, so all of it is renamed. So that might be your problem, Abe.
Yeah, it's micro moment trading now.
Yeah, micro moment trading.
We still have all the stuff that's in the website for compound stock earnings is now in the micro moment trading website. So there's nothing that you can still do. Every single thing you did in compound stock earnings, you can do in micro moment.
With no your accounts or subscriptions or anything.
Yeah, so use www.micromomenttrading.com.
Yep. It was just getting too confusing between the two. And then Randy really kept partly responsible because he started blending, morphing in sort of combination micro moment trading and traditional covered call trading. So, but anyhow, we appreciate everybody being here today. We're in fact, we're over our time and allowed. So please check out our website, www.micromomenttrading.com. Sign up for the free cow report. Comes out every Friday. It's been coming out, published now for over 25 years. And show up and check out the YouTube micro moment trading, and you'll pull up some of those sessions that they're doing. You can see exactly precisely what they're doing. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, and Mike, we'll meet together here in a minute and get that stuff done. See
Awesome.
you, and thanks everybody being here. Bye-bye.
Okay, next week. See you Saturday.
Hey Joe,
Okay.
it's all in the support at Micro Moment Trading email.
Okay, I get it. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, bye.
Good day, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Later, y'all.